What's up, everybody?
We thought we'd do a little recap on the engine ring symbol.
You got, I know it kind of cut off short there.
We just fired it up.
Yeah, I just fired it up, and there really wasn't a whole lot after that. It sounded good when I fired it up. You know, everybody heard it and everything, but what I heard in the shop was that it wasn't idling right. It was acting like it had a vacuum leak. Kind of had me puzzled for a second. Shit's going through my head. What can it be? So I started checking some stuff, and you know, the old brake cleaner trick, spraying around everything. Everything seemed to be pretty sealed up. At that point, I felt like the intake gasket didn't seal. Didn't want to believe it because it had already been such a damn headache. Getting this thing apart, doing what we did, getting it back together. I had the oil pan off a couple times. Everything just seemed to fight. The cam dowel pin coming out, it didn't want to come out. There was definitely a lot more effort and hours put into that than
Than what you guys see on video.
Yeah, than what I expected. I mean, I spent a whole evening, afternoon after work working on that dowel pin to get it out.
I think it was 3 or 4 hours it took.
Then the oil pump drive shaft issue, having to pull the oil pan back off of it after I had it on and sealed up, the oil pump back off of it. Just everything that I had done to it. What should have been a quick, easy assembly was almost just as big of a pain in the ass and a headache as, actually building one from nothing, it felt like. So whenever I had this issue, I ain't gonna lie, I got discouraged. I was pissed off. And kind of just stepped aside for a second. And realistically, I didn't video. I just pretty much locked the doors on the shop and pulled the fucking intake back off of it. And it was leaking up into the ports out of the inside of the engine. I could see traces of oil and all that on the gasket, and it was in the runners of the intake and the heads. So just to be sure, I silicone the shit out of I cleaned the intake gaskets with brake cleaner because it had like a waxy film on it from the factory. So I brake cleaned the rag and cleaned all the intake gasket and stuff up, cleaned the intake up, and right stuff the shit out of it. Put it back on and waited a day or so before I even started it. And it seems to idle better. It does run a lot better. Still don't feel like it's right, but it's not. I don't think it's leaking anything anywhere. Before I had oil in the cylinders and on the plugs, and there was definite signs of something getting into the cylinders, and I don't have that now. So I feel like everything's cleaned up, and it may be just as much as it wants different mixtures and different jetting on the carburetor now. Because I did take 9 thousandths total off of the block and the heads. So maybe that's it. I got to get out and test. I'm right now waiting for Nitrous Express to get me my nitrous solenoid coils. Once I get those, we should be good to take it out. I can take it out now, naturally aspirated, and play with it and tune on a little bit. I definitely want to start slow and bring the tuning in slowly. I did just price plugs for the first time, and since the beginning of last year, I think it was, I bought a bunch at the beginning of last year, and they have went up drastically. So I'm gonna have Have to get a bunch of spark plugs and basically just start tuning on it, and then start slowly bringing the nitrous in. I want to get out and get to racing as soon as I can, but also I don't want to do anything stupid because the car is not ready.
Hold you right there. CJ's making fun of me because of my hair, but
We'll see.
I am what you see. I just got out of the shower. I'm a low maintenance girl. So.
Fuck. But realistically, she wanted me to switch spots with her because the light was blocking me out. So we used her big ass head to get in front of the lights.
Here, this is a little better. It's not working. So it's been like a crazy week here. We need to get better at carrying the phone and the camera with us all the time. Monday, or was it Monday? Either Sunday or Monday, we had a tornado come through our yard. Nothing big. It was EF0 or whatever
it was more through the neighbor's yard.
Yeah, didn't do any severe damage, but a lot of downed trees. We got the kids down to the basement quick enough. Everything was all good here, just a lot of cleanup and maintenance.
Knocked the damn mirror off the smart car.
Yeah, he's real upset about that. The trash can blew into it, we think. We're not sure because we weren't out there. And then Allie had come home from camp, and we had to go over some things with her. Just because there's an incident, there always is an incident. It's just one of those things where other kids are doing things they shouldn't be doing, but it seems to come back on her, and then we have to punish for it, and she's the only one that ever gets punished for anything. But we are raising a teenager.
It's also always other kids.
Yeah.
It's never like, I made a bad decision. It's
Yeah.
such and such and such and such.
So we were trying to navigate through that the best that we can, and, see her side of the story, but taking consideration that the other side that we don't know about because we weren't there. So there was just some of...
But we've lived it, so we kind of get ideas of the other side.
What's going on. So nothing major, but, it did take up some of her time this week, as it should, because she's our kid. She's working on filling out applications, like she said, and getting her second job, so... That's a big thing coming up. I was a little under the weather this week. I wasn't feeling too good. I think I just got really stressed out, and it tanked my immune system down lower than it usually is. And I was kind of really grumpy with everybody this week. So it just wasn't a good week. I've been trying to prepare Darren's video, More Than Autism, for everybody. I had planned on releasing it late last week, but it's just not ready. I'm not happy with it. So it's coming. Hopefully this week we'll get it out there for you, and you can kind of see Darren's story and what we've been through with him. I still have to work on the online store for apparel. I'm sorry. I knew I planned to have it up. We do have shirts, cups, stickers, hats. If you just
air fresheners,
if you just message us your size and address, we'll get you in touch with our PayPal, Venmo, whatever payment method. That's kind of how we've been doing it so far. I will post up a price list on our Facebook website.
It'd be real nice for everybody to get the online store.
Yeah, it is. I have started building it. I just had a couple questions that I needed to finish up on and get it published. So I hope to have that done by the end of this week. I'm only working 2 days this week, so...
Must be nice.
Poor CJ. He's been working, and it's been really hot, so... And then he kept asking me about his paycheck. Something didn't seem right about that. And then I got on there finally and discovered for the past 2 months they've been taking out double medical for him. So we got to get that fixed this week. His work owes him a little bit of money. But that's our problem for not paying attention more. So we need to do that. We don't know if we're going to race this coming weekend. It might be more testing. We'll get some video on that. But our next schedule race is Uncaged at National Trails. It's a big event. Katie's also holding an event that weekend. Block's coming down for that and putting on a good race. Either of those are great options. If you're going to race, go out there and support them. But we were just kind of already locked into, committed to Uncaged. So that's kind of where we decided to go to. Plus, I think the race starts earlier in the day, so it's not late night for us. It's about 20 minutes closer to home for us. So that works well too.
National Trails is the closest track to us. It's only like 45 minutes away, so it's always good to go there when we can, just because it is closer, least expensive. So, and usually the Uncaged, it only happens one time a year. And it's usually a pretty good race. Last year it got rained out after first round. Had a massive rainstorm, but I'm excited to get there. I have to do my part and make sure the car is ready for it. So that's hopefully with this added money coming from work, I'll be able to afford to buy these fucking spark plugs that are $4.50 a piece.
Yeah.
And we'll get that bitch tested and it'll be ready and on point for the first time in a little while. I think once it's tuned, once it's together, figured out, and everything's right. Now everything's right. And I don't think, honestly, the engine has been right for a while, being the deck surface and everything, how it was. So it wasn't sealing. I had combustion tracking from cylinder to cylinder on every cylinder. So hopefully everything's sealed up real good and we'll be able to do real well our next time out. And hopefully, cross some fingers, that we're done with all this parts failure bullshit, nitrous not working, and whatnot. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. But we did figure out the problem. I got with Chris Isbell there at Nitrous Express, and he talked me through some tests while he was on the line and everything. And once I did those tests, and he told me what it was. He said my coils are for sure bad, and that's why it randomly just doesn't spray the nitrous side. So get those in, get them on, and some plugs, and we're ready to go out and spend a lot of time getting this bitch ready. We'll go into some of the stuff that I read, the information and people saying I did this wrong, did that wrong, this is how you do it. I am not a professional engine builder. I have built, I think, all of my engines, but I'm not a professional. I don't know everything. Any of the, I guess, criticism or constructive criticism, I don't take it as somebody being an asshole. So if you're being an asshole, it's not how I'm taking it, because I welcome all the knowledge from all the real world knowledge from professionals. If there's a professional out there that's telling me to, do this, don't do it that way. I don't look at it as somebody being an asshole to me. I look at it as, I'm going to learn from this. So next time it will make me better.
Did you learn anything from watching the videos back?
And it also might pique my interest, and I'll get on online or ask some engine builders that I do know and pick their brain about some of the stuff. So I'm always about learning. I want to learn. I did learn a lot from watching the videos back, the clips and stuff, like the head gasket that I put on backwards. I learned that. And I saw it and immediately saw it, like it stood out. And then I'm like, why the hell did I put it on backwards? Like I know how it goes. And it playing the actions back, that head gasket was supposed to go on the other side. And whenever I realized I didn't have the head in there, it was still in the van, I think it was, or the car. It was still in the car. I just started flipping it around and sat it on the other side. Like I didn't even pay attention. So that's how that happened. And then the exhaust nut, I was watching the clip back on it. And when it got to that section, it clicked in my head. I was like, I can zoom in on this and see where the hell that nut went to.
Yeah, because I was on a mission. I wanted to find that.
Yeah, she was searching all over the place. In the car, on the car, beside the car, under the car, toolboxes everywhere. She was going everywhere. Well, I zoomed in on it and I watched it fall down in the cowl of the car. So it didn't fall down in the exhaust. It didn't hit the floor. It didn't nothing. All I went off of was the sounds because I didn't hear it. But it fell down into the cowl and rolled all the way over to the side on there's a little hole inside the cow panel off to the sides of it that go basically out to another little valley, and I think out, that's how the water gets out of the car. Well, it was laying all the way out there on the edge. So took my borescope in there and located it, and then a magnet got it out. So we got that all taken care of. I mean, you can really go back and track what you do watching the videos. Like, most of my life, I didn't even take pictures. There was no pictures of me. I didn't racing, none of that. I didn't take pictures of cars. And now it's like looking back at actual videos, not just pictures, but videos. There's a lot to learn from it. You can definitely track your steps and see where you went wrong even before, like, it. If somebody at home is assembling their engine and they're not a professional, you know, just videoing what you're doing, and each step when you're done at the end of the day, just go back and watch what you did and look at it and pay attention to what's going on. If you messed up, you might see it. And I did catch some of those on this. A lot of it may be because I was rushing. You know, I was trying to get it back together.
Well, that too, you work a full 8-hour job before you even come home and start working on the car. You're up every day at 5.
Right.
You don't get home till 3:15, and then you come, talk to the kids, and then catch up on family stuff, and then you're working on the car. And people come over, they chat, they leave, or you have other things going on. So, I mean, it's a lot to get done in 4 or 5 hours.
Well, a lot of the time spent in the 2 weeks of the disassembly and reassembly, a lot of that was running.
Yeah.
Well, I had my converter and I take it over to Dayton, and then I had to go back and pick it up. There's just a lot of running involved in it that takes up a lot of time.
Yeah, Lucasville is an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes from our home. So he went there the first day,
yeah, and then
left over and went to Dayton, which that was 2 hours from there. And then there was like a half-hour drive to get the converter to Mike, and then there was another hour and 40 minutes to come home. And then the next day, you drove like an hour and a half to Mount Sterling or New Lex. Where was it?
Yeah, New Lex to
New
Trent.
Lex, and then back home, and then working on the car all in between that. And then, yeah, it's just a lot of running to do with still assembling the car.
Right.
So.
Yeah, Mike Turner. Trent Thompson, I'd like to thank both of them. Tim Brown, within all this, you know, he pretty much dropped working on his car that he's trying to get back together for No Prep Kings. He wrecked it. Pretty much dropped what he was doing to help me get my shit back together. Those guys really were a big help on this. You know, Trent had the parts for the timing, my belt drive timing system, and offered them up. You know, Mike's taking care of the converter. He takes care of my converter and transmission. So that was, without those guys, there's no way this would have happened as fast as what it did. And then naturally, I want to thank everybody else that you know helps me out and sponsors me. And there's a pretty good list, which we try to post or mention, you know, throughout our videos. And all the fans, love them. Everybody watching the videos
and commenting.
Thank you. Commenting, yes.
Yeah.
You know, sharing your knowledge, or just talking about your build. Yeah. I don't get a whole lot of time to get on there. I try to respond and you know, like and all that as much as I can.
You also just got a new phone, because his old phone, he couldn't download YouTube, the app on it, so he couldn't comment to anybody until he got his new phone.
It seems like every time I open it up, though, I see there's another way where somebody has commented or, you know, anything like that. It's just all weird. And then, like, there's 2 different apps on my phone, but one doesn't really show that I've looked at it unless I looked at it on that app. So if I respond twice to something, that's probably what happened.
Or if he doesn't respond at all, he's trying to get to you. He's trying to do that and interact and comment on why he might have done something or why he didn't do something or what he's going to do or what's in the future. He really does try.
And I do want to say silicone in the intake is not the right way. I feel that it does need cut. to fit. So next time off, hopefully it's this winter on a freshen up. I am going to make sure that's right. Or if I pull it off for any other reason, it's going to go and I'm going to get it all fixed, and that way I don't have to use as much silicone on it. I learned a couple years ago, especially with the small block Ford, like I never had that issue with the Chevys, but the small block Ford seemed to always have an intake gasket leaking into a port or something. So I'll put a real thin bead around the ports and around like the water jackets and stuff on both sides of it. And I did do that, but it just wasn't enough. It's like it just pushed right out, sucked right through it. So
definitely more to come. CJ's off to go boating with a friend today.
Yeah.
A good stress reliever. I opted not to go. I spend so much time running, and I drive for work during the week. And yesterday, I think I was in and out of town about 4 or 5 times. So I'm just going to spend the day relaxing here with the kids and getting some things done. But we're ready to kick Monday's ass and get back to it.
And hopefully within the next video here, we're going to have some testing. We'll have some driving and some testing and kind of start through it.
Dialing things in.
Yep, getting stuff ready.
Yeah. So we'll look forward to posting more of that. And like I said, I'm going to be working on Darren's video, the autism video. We do have some autism stickers. So if you're at the race, stop by and see us. We have those. So hopefully we'll get that video out soon. That'd be probably our next one. So until then, we'll see you then. So Allie's about to head in for her first her first real job interview. She currently works at a produce farm, and it was pretty much you show up, you get hired. But she's been filling out job applications, so she filled out one yesterday at 10:30. They called her around 3.
Yeah, it was really fast.
It was really fast, and she has an interview today, so she's gonna go see what it's like. How do you think the job application, filling that out, was it stressful? The first time ever doing that?
The first time ever doing it, overall, like,
Yeah.
with jobs and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was really stressful. It took a really long time. But the thing is with the job that I'm going to now for the interview, their application system was, like, really easy to fill out. So
Compared to the other ones?
Yeah, they seem really organized.
So we're gonna go see. We live about 10 minutes outside of Circleville. The job is in Circleville, so we're gonna go see how she likes it and if she wants to accept their offer, if they give her offer. What don't you like, Allie?
I don't know. I'm not socially... I'm really socially awkward.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm not nervous. I just know that I'm probably gonna mess it all up, and I'm gonna be like, whenever I'm talking.
I think you'll be fine.
You always think I'll be fine.
Surprise me then.
Watch, I'll probably suck.
Alright, good luck. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, how'd it go?
Good. It went really smoothly. I did stutter a little bit, but it was like because I was trying to think of what to say.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, really, really good. She didn't give me an offer. She said she still has to talk to her other manager, probably Emily.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think I did pretty good.
What kind of questions did she ask you?
She asked me a lot about my background and what I was into, and yeah, what my schedule was like, how my other job was or is, and yeah, she did a lot of like scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
like if like was there ever a time where you've had like a conflict with someone, and how'd you handle it? And then there was
What was your answer to that one?
to that one.
Yeah.
I did, well, she said school or work.
Yeah.
So I just did like school with bullying and all that stuff, where just letting other people know that there is different opinions out there, and just to try and be open and solve the problem by talking it out.
And not being confrontational.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's good. So why do you want a second job? Because you're not leaving your other job. So why do you want a second one?
I feel like I need more money, basically, because all the prices are going up. Gas prices, and then I have to pay for car insurance, and then school clothes now, and that is a lot to take care of with only maybe $70 a week.
Plus,
And
the job at the produce farm is basically mornings and some
Yeah.
Saturdays.
yeah,
So she was looking for something for kind of evenings and
For
Sundays.
school, yeah.
And since she's a junior in high school and only got, 2 more years left?
yeah,
So she needs to know, the responsibility of paying for her own stuff
yeah,
and how much stuff costs and how she needs to pay for it on her own without us. So we kind of talked it over, me and her together, and we let CJ know what we were doing and planning, and he was on board with it. So she kind of decided to start applying for jobs. I think you applied for a good 10 or 12 so far?
probably around 7 or to 10.
Yeah. And she's been applying all month, and this was the first actual call for an interview that she got.
In one day after applying for it, that same day they contacted me.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because you never know about what kind of a place it is going to be to work once you start working there. But I reminded her that, you got to at least give it a month or two before you really know if it's going to be the right fit for you. Just don't make a decision right away,
Yep.
because it takes a while to see if you're going to like it. So are you excited? Do you hope that you get it, or do you kind of just...
I really hope I do get it, because they were so nice in there. It was chill too. The guy that I asked, he just gave me a cup, and he's like, "Here's for water," and I was like, "Okay, that seems fancy." It was weird because
Water's fancy?
well, no, it was like I don't know. I've never been to an interview like that, or seen an interview like that, unless it's in a big building or something. I know whenever I did acting and all that, we'd walk into the building and they'd have water there and all that, and this was a fancy building and everything. Usually at restaurants and stuff, it's not like that.
So it was kind of like when you went to audition for stuff, it kind of brought that feeling back.
Yeah, it was, it seemed really professional and together.
Yeah, something we haven't mentioned about Allie is that we spent a good 8-10 years on competition dance and modeling and acting. She actually had been out to Orlando and LA for all that stuff. So she has been prepared pretty much for public speaking a lot. So, well, we'll kind of keep you guys posted and see what comes of it. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay.
Hey.
Oh. See, now I'm cool. Okay.